Southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News First at 4.
Good afternoon, I'm Will Puckett. First at 4, the Department of Justice announced earlier today that the Appalachian Regional Prescription Opioid Strike Force charged 60 people in a massive drug raid. WYMT's Justin Case joins us live from Prestonsburg, where 5 of the people charged have ties to Eastern Kentucky. Justin, good afternoon.
Will, at this point, 60 people have been charged in 11 states, including here in Kentucky. And this drug investigation that you just mentioned on, it's focused on prosecuting people involved in the illegal prescription and distribution of opioids. Now, I want you to see something here behind me. So this building back there, that is the Appalachian Primary Care here in Prestonsburg, where Dr. Mohammed Mazumdar is accused of providing pre-signed blank prescriptions to office staff, who then used them to prescribe controlled substances while he was out of the office. Now, he's just one of 5 medical professionals in Eastern Kentucky charged in this investigation. Others include Dr. Cy Gutty of Pikeville, dentist Denver Tackett of McDowell, Dr. Scott Akers of Pikeville, along with his office manager, Sarissa Stamper. Now, I talked with one woman who actually had an appointment here at Appalachian Primary Care today, who was shocked to hear of the news ahead of her first visit to this doctor's office.
I'm glad they're cracking down on everything. The ones that needs to be closed down, I'm glad they're going to close them down.
Now, all of the doors here are locked. We tried actually knocking on some of the doors. We saw some people go into the building. We tried to ask them questions. They ignored us and quickly locked the doors behind them once they went inside. We were also asked to leave the property by someone who would not identify himself as being related to either one of these offices here behind us. But we're going to continue to follow this story. We'll have much more coming up on Mountain News at 5:30. Will?
All righty, Justin, thank you so much for that report. We'll follow it up for sure. Thank you. Well, more money is on the way to Manchester to help mothers that are addicted to drugs. An announcement that a donation from the state's largest managed organization is going to help Eastern Kentucky mothers who worry that their kids may be born addicted. I was on hand for the presentation in Manchester this morning. It is a large sum of money and is now available to Eastern Kentucky mothers who are now nursing or pregnant that are also substance abuse disordered. This donation is from WellCare, the state's largest managed organization. They are donating $100,000 to the Volunteers of America Mid-States to help bring their new Freedom House to Eastern Kentucky, to help serve an area that does not have anything of this nature immediately available.
This part of the Commonwealth has been among the hardest hit by the opioid epidemic, and there are no available resources today in Clay County or around Clay County for women pregnant and parenting and substance use disordered.
All of this is with the hopes to one day not have any babies born addicted to drugs. Volunteers of America, or VOA, plan to have the facility up and running by this summer.
Well, it was another beautiful day here in the mountains, another warm one as well. We are seeing those clouds increasing, though, a little bit. You'll notice that here as we take a look at downtown Whitesburg, we're starting to see those partly cloudy skies and really see that throughout the rest of the evening. Much of the same story, satellite and radar, those clouds, a mixture of sun and clouds really throughout the day. And that's because of a system that'll be making its way into the mountains late Thursday into Friday. So really, we're going to hang on to a few of those clouds as we head into tomorrow as well. At least we are warm out there. We're showing those low to maybe even those lower 80s to upper 70s across our area, showing an 82 in Hazard, 76 in Jackson, 77 in London, and into Moorhead. As we head throughout the rest of the evening, we'll remain into those 70s by the time we get into those later evening hours. And once the sun starts to set, we'll be back into the lower 70s by 9, those mid 60s by midnight. Really, we're going to see those clouds increasing throughout the night as well. But as we head into your Thursday, good news is we do stay mostly dry and warm. That front moves in on your Good Friday, bringing in soggy conditions. Looks like that continues into your Saturday as well. Good news is it looks like we will be clearing by Easter Sunday. I'll have that full forecast coming up for you guys in just a little bit. Will.
All righty, Paige, thank you. The man accused of throwing a 5-year-old off a third-floor balcony at the Mall of America Friday is in jail under a $2 million bond after his first court appearance. According to a criminal complaint, the victim's mother said they were standing outside of the Rainforest Cafe at the mall when a man now identified as Emmanuel Aranda walked very close to them. She allegedly asked him if they were in the way and should move. Prosecutors say without warning, Aranda then picked up the victim and threw him off the third-floor balcony. The child fell around 40 feet.
She was screaming for everyone, please pray, please pray. Please pray for my baby.
Prosecutors say Aranda tried to run but was quickly apprehended. The criminal complaint said Aranda admitted to police he threw the boy and allegedly said he had formed a plan to kill someone at the mall the day before, but it did not work out. The next day, he allegedly said he set out to kill an adult but chose the boy instead. Aranda is charged with premeditated murder. The woman accused of killing 2 people went before a judge for the first time in months. Last year, Lois Reese triggered a nationwide manhunt after detectives say she killed her husband in Minnesota, then traveled to Fort Myers Beach and killed Pamela Hutchinson. Police say she killed Hutchinson so she could steal her identity. Reese was arrested in Texas 2 weeks later. In court today, attorneys talked about getting depositions in Florida and Texas. Reese is due back in court in September. It was a bizarre attack in Canada. Police there are looking for the man who shot a woman with a crossbow. They say it was a premeditated but isolated attack. Local police in Ontario say the suspect posed as a delivery man when he went to the woman's home. He was holding a large box concealing the weapon, and after a short conversation, he shot her.
After being struck by the arrow in the chest area, the victim suffered massive trauma that was both life-threatening and life-altering. This was not a random act. Comments that were made to the
Now, the 44-year-old victim nearly died from her injuries. Her attacker will be charged with attempted murder once he is captured. The search is over for a dangerous woman in Colorado this afternoon who authorities say is infatuated with the Columbine massacre and posted a possible threat to more than 500,000 students in the Denver area. 18-year-old Saul Pais, the woman authorities say was obsessed with the 1999 school shooting, was found dead at a remote campground about 45 miles west of Denver. Pais was on the run since landing in Colorado Monday night. Yesterday, police in Florida searched her home. Investigators say Pais did not make any specific threats to a specific school.
Because of her comments and her actions, because of her travel here to the state, we considered her to be a credible threat.
And the investigation prompted hundreds of schools to close Wednesday, keeping more than 500,000 students at home. The 20th anniversary of the Columbine massacre, which resulted in the deaths of 1 teacher and 12 students, is Saturday. Prosecutors said today that they intend to release videos in Robert Kraft's case. Kraft's legal team filed an emergency motion in response to block that release. The 77-year-old Patriots owner, along with 24 other men, are accused of paying for sex acts at a Florida day spa. Investigators say it was part of a prostitution sting. Kraft's team is accusing prosecutors of violating Kraft's constitutional right to a fair trial. His lawyers also accused prosecutors of going back on their word after indicating in court last week that no footage would be released until a judge makes a ruling. Kraft's team strongly denies he has done anything illegal. An Iowa college student fell nearly 100 feet to her death while posing for a photo. 20-year-old Andrea Norton was hiking with other students from Briarcliff University during their trip to Arkansas's Ozark National Forest Sunday morning. Witnesses say Norton lost her footing while trying to reposition herself for a photo on the famous Hawksbill Crag, a rugged cliff in the forest. The university says Norton was a dedicated volleyball player and stellar student. Attorney General William Barr has issued new rules which could leave thousands of immigrants seeking asylum behind bars while their cases are being considered. Barr is trying to put an end to the catch and release policies for immigrants seeking asylum. His decision says asylum seekers who are determined to have a credible fear will no longer be eligible to be released on bond while awaiting a court hearing.
It would be a lot easier if Congress would get together and the Democrats would agree to get rid of these loopholes, these horrible and foolish loopholes.
The ruling only applies to asylum seekers who enter the country illegally, not those who apply for asylum at a port of entry. It does not affect unaccompanied children or families. Well, let's head over to Wall Street on this Wednesday afternoon. The Dow closes down more than 3 points.
A home that may be at least 160 years old was found inside another house that was being torn down in Stanford.
And warm conditions continue into your Thursday, but a cold front will move in quickly and bring changes to the mountains. We'll break down that full forecast in just a few short minutes.